Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a few nations whose entries I believe can be considered dark horses coming into this year's edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as we all know, will take place this May, next month, in Vienna, Austria. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. It is important to note that these dark horses I'm talking about today are not necessarily dark horses for the win in next month's Vienna staged competition, but at this moment in time, early April, I'm looking at these entries and I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're not necessarily disliked by the majority of Eurovision fans, they're not necessarily poor tracks whatsoever, but maybe the betting odds are saying that this song isn't going to fare terribly well next month. Maybe a lot of Eurovision fans, even if they don't mind these songs, are not expecting them to really make much of an impact at next month's competition. However, I think the countries I'm talking about today, many of us can look at and say, you know what, they might end up doing a lot better than we anticipate at this moment in time, and if it does happen that these entries get a lot of points next month, maybe we won't end up being that surprised at all. So that's essentially what I mean by dark horses here. I will be talking about 5 or 6 countries today. I wanted to keep this video fairly concise. Do let me know your thoughts on the tracks in question. I will be clicking backwards and forwards quite a bit as well, so do bear with me. Also, I've said it before on my channel, I'll say it again, I am not a professional journalist, so I do have some descriptions of the songs in question that I will be loading up and going through in a moment's time, so do bear with me. The first dark horse of Eurovision 2026, in my opinion, comes from semi-final 2, and you could absolutely say that this entry is the biggest dark horse galloping in with regards to this year's event. It is song 9 in semi-final 2 this year, Latvia. The performer is Atvara. The song is called Ena, which roughly translates as In the Shadow. Liena Atvara was born in 1998. She's 28 years of age. She was on the Latvian version of The X Factor. She's also studied in Copenhagen. She has worked as an English teacher, and she has released one album thus far, which came out in October of last year. From what I can see in front of me, the song is an introspective, raw entry exploring emotional exhaustion, vulnerability and isolation. The song focuses on themes of silence, fading presence and maintaining composure, while depicting the internal struggle of giving warmth to others while feeling empty oneself. Now, I would absolutely say this song to me feels very raw, yes, very vulnerable, very brittle, very fragile, almost as if it's going to break apart at some point, because there's this real outpouring of emotion during this 3-minute track. The performance that we had in Supernova, the Latvian national selection, several months ago now, was really beautiful. She could have just been standing there, nothing else happening around her, but that really would have come across as very dull indeed, and maybe she wouldn't have won the competition at all. Instead, what we had was a shadow behind her and this on-screen effect of all of these shards of glass moving around her, which does fit in with what I just said about this song feeling very brittle and very fragile. And it's a very haunting number indeed. If we take a look at what it says on this particular site, it describes the song as following a narrator who pours warmth and energy into others but feels empty when facing the relationships that matter most. Outwardly, life may seem composed and polished, but beneath the surface, fragility and vulnerability dominate, showing how easily emotional balance can collapse. The song gradually immerses listeners in a reflective, somber mood. Absolutely. This song to me also feels it feels religious is the wrong word, but I feel as though it should be performed in a church or something, because It is the sort of song that I think makes you feel somewhat introspective. Even if you don't speak Latvian, and a lot of people listening next month won't really know what this song is on about at all, it definitely just is a moment of calm, a moment of peace, a moment of introspection, that's what I'm trying to say, in this year's lineup. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful 3-minute track. I have to say, I don't love this song. If anything, it is leaving me a little bit cold, which is why, at this moment in time, I would say that actually I think Latvia is probably an NQ this year. If they do make the final, that's 3 years in a row. That's seriously impressive stuff for a country that many years ago was really struggling to have any sort of form at Eurovision at all. However, the juries are back in the semi-finals this year. This is a really good thing for Latvia because I think the juries are going to look at this and I think they might be somewhat mesmerised by this performance, if indeed it is presented in a similar manner to what we had at the Latvian selection several weeks ago now. As for the public, I really don't know. Will they look at this? Will they hear it and find it a bit too miserable, too maudlin, too serious, too unexciting, too cold? Maybe. Or will they be captivated for 3 minutes by the glass swirling around that vara, and will they feel as though this is a song that gets them thinking about things somehow? And you can have a connection to a piece of music, even if you don't speak the language that the singer is singing in. You can have some sort of loose or indeed strong connection with the melody and the feeling that it is just giving off to you through the television screen. Hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to get at here. If we take a look at the rough English translation of the lyrics, so much warmth is given to cold ones, yet when you reach the close ones you arrive emptied. In others' eyes you're painted beautifully, but a single water drop can turn you black and white, and so slowly, slowly you grow more silent. Slowly, slowly, slowly you fade into the shadows. You think later, later, a little later. And so slowly, slowly you fade into the shadows. Daughter, keep quiet, don't stir the veils. Today father will not come home. Tomorrow with a smile the glasses will be raised. Together we'll drown in the whirlpool of doubt. That's quite poetic if you ask me. So yes, absolutely, I agree with everything that I've just read through here. It is a very introspective sort of song. It does deal with emotional exhaustion and this distance between individuals emotionally as well as physically, perhaps. Long story short, Latvia is a dark horse galloping in, and it's sandwiched between Cyprus and Denmark in the running order for semi-final 2 this year. And I think because Denmark's song really does explode into life and is one of the big favourites to win, and Cyprus's song is, you know, get up on the tables and have a bit of a dance, that sort of thing. This really is a moment of stark simplicity, and as such, maybe people will really gravitate towards it. The next dark horse I'm going to be talking about, and we move over to semi-final 1 for this particular track, it is Portugal, Bandidos Tocante with Rosa. This is an all-male group. Now, of course, Portugal's FDC was a bit of a shite show because most of the artists involved said if we win, we will not go to Eurovision because of Israel's continued participation. But it just so happened one of the artists who said, yes, we will go to Eurovision if we win, did actually come out on top, and that was the group I just mentioned, Bandidos Tocante. They are in semi-final 1, song 5 on that Tuesday night. It says here in front of me, this is a song reflecting on lost love, nostalgia and longing, using an overgrown, neglected garden as a metaphor. The lyrics tell a story of abandonment that turned into lingering, bittersweet memories, symbolised by remaining roses. Saudade, which is this very well-known Portuguese phrase, which doesn't really have much of a literal English translation, is definitely a theme that runs through this particular track. It says here, the song focuses heavily on that, with the roses acting as a sensory reminder of a lost lover. The best way that I can describe this song is like a nice, soothing hug. It just wraps you up in a nice warm blanket and maybe makes you feel all of the feels. And once it's over and done with, you just feel comforted. It's like when a parent hugs their young child. That's what this song is like. Just a real moment of pause and calm amongst all of the noise and craziness. And when you take a look at the first half of semi-final 1 this year, you've got Moldova all over the shop. You've got Greece, crazy stuff in a good way. You've got Georgia, which is lively, Finland, which is quite up-tempo, Sweden, which is quite up-tempo. And this Portuguese track absolutely stands out a mile in that first half. And it's a dark horse because would any of us really be that shocked if Portugal make the final and do quite well? In 2021, the Black Mamba were right there. I don't remember a lot of people saying, oh yeah, that's a qualifier. And then look what happened. They weren't that far away from a top 10 finish in Rotterdam. Seriously impressive. The juries really liked it, the public not so much. In 2022, we had Maro with Saudade Saudade. The juries really liked it, the public not quite as much. This year, Bandidos Tocante with Rosa, the juries might really like it, the public maybe not so much. There's a bit of a theme occurring here, as you can see. But there's also a charming quality to this, and I've said it before on my channel and I'll say it again. Charming songs really can do the business at Eurovision. People can watch them and just be so engaged with what's going on. Sometimes all people want is a moment of simplicity in a field of really lively, colourful, vibrant efforts. There's really not much to the staging here at all. Let's see what it says here. I think much of the same. The lyrics explore themes of love, nostalgia and emotional loss. And the song is performed in this Alentejo style. So definitely there's a lot of regional support for this, and it feels very authentic. And in a lot of national finals, we don't necessarily get songs that feel authentic to the country in question. With FDC, there's a lot of these very slow, meandering sort of ballads that feel traditionally Portuguese, very authentic to the country in question, which absolutely can be appreciated. Do we have the English translation of the lyrics? Here we go. In the silence of the moonlight, the wind blows slowly. It brings the smell of the rose bushes, and your name is a whisper. My love, if today I go, in the night on my garden, by there I'll find some roses. They remind me of you. So yes, a simple thing, conjuring up memories of the past, perhaps. A really lovely song. It's not massively competitive, but it's absolutely a dark horse galloping in. So that's Latvia and that's Portugal. Now it's worth saying with Portugal as well, last year, also a bit of a dark horse, qualified somewhat against the odds, didn't do incredibly well in the final, but the streaming numbers since Eurovision last year in Basel for Deslocado by Napa have been really, really impressive. I think it's the most streamed Eurovision song from last year, and they didn't even finish anywhere particularly high. So maybe something could happen again. Will lightning strike twice for Portugal? We'll wait and see. The third song I'm going to talk about, and we have to go back to semi-final 2 for this one. Something fairly different here. It's Luxembourg. This is Ava Maria with Mother Nature. This song was absolutely not really getting much attention whatsoever coming into Luxembourg's national final months ago. And then, about a week before it actually occurred, I think more and more people started saying, actually watch out for this one, it's probably going to do the business, we'll wait and see. And she ended up winning the Luxembourg national selection fairly comfortably in the end. This is a song, apparently, that focuses on childhood, nostalgia and personal grounding. The song uses the imagery of nature and roots to explore themes of hope, freedom and self-discovery. It is a metaphor for returning to one's background, one's roots, dealing with personal growth and finding inner peace. The song is inspired by the carefree feeling of playing in nature, such as parks and forests. Absolutely. For me, this song, the best word I can use to describe this track is whimsical. It's very sweet, maybe a bit too saccharine for some, but it's just a very carefree, springy, happy-go-lucky, carefree track. and I think a lot of people will be able to resonate with what this song is on about and just enjoy it for what it is. It's really harmless stuff, and I think what I really liked about the live performance several months ago as well is that she performed this with a smile on her face, and that really does help, I think. You could tell that she was really enjoying what she was doing on stage, and if we get more of that next month in Vienna, who knows, that could maybe help translate into several points. We'll wait and see. Let's take a look at what it says here. I think more of the same. A metaphor for... No, let's forget that. That's about something else. Nature plays a central role in the song's message. Inner strength, grounding and renewal. The changing environment mirrors emotional shifts, suggesting that healing happens gradually and instinctively, much like growth in the natural world. She's got the fiddle on stage with her, which of course she's not playing live, although if Linda Lampenius might be playing the violin live for Finland next month, then maybe Eva Maria should be playing the violin live for Luxembourg. Anyway, that's by the by. One of the songwriters for this track, I believe, co-wrote the British entry. How about that? Let's take a look at the lyrics, shall we? I know there's been accusations of plagiarism with this song. In fact, do I have it here somewhere? Yes, this was in a British newspaper just today. Luxembourg could find itself in hot water at Eurovision next month as its entry is facing potential legal action. Mother Nature is under fire for its stark similarities to Keeping Your Head Up, the 2016 hit by Birdie. The track's choruses are so alike, it has caught the attention of the Brit singers team who are looking into it. When it was flagged, a rep said the Birdie camp are now aware and they are reviewing. The Luxembourg broadcaster RTL has said it is holding talks over claims of plagiarism. I thought this was all over and done with myself, but maybe not. In a statement it said, "We, the Eurovision team, take the discussions about possible copyright infringements seriously and want to deal with them transparently." I don't think there's any claim here that's worth thinking about. Some songs do absolutely sound familiar. There's not much to the staging, so hopefully we get a little bit more in Vienna. Let's not forget that last year Laura Thorne, she won the Luxembourg selection, a pretty good performance, and then it was elevated quite significantly, I would say, for the Eurovision stage, and last year Luxembourg was a bit of a dark horse galloping in. This year, it's a similar story. From the start, when all was fun and games, wasn't hard, but all good things can end. Back when I was younger, I planted a seed under the moonlight, and even when there's thunder, I go back when I wonder, who am I? Mother Nature, she knows, Mother Nature, she knows. I know it's a very repetitive chorus, this, but it's easy to go along with. And like I said, it's very whimsical, very carefree, might put a bit of a smile on your face, and I listen to this and I think to myself, why wouldn't people vote for this? Is it really that bad a song? No. Is it really that competitive? No. But I'm still thinking to myself, well, this isn't going to end up with nothing, is it? There are going to be quite a few points going this song's way. At this moment in time, it is for me a borderline qualifier. But if this goes through and does quite well for itself, I don't think it's going to be that shocking. I have nothing else to really say about this. It's very nice, very lovely to listen to. One of the loveliest songs this year. So there's another dark horse for you, Luxembourg. Now, the next song I'm going to talk about, we're going to stick with semi-final 2. This is not really a strong contender for the win. In my opinion, it should be. And the reason I'm including it in this video is because it is maybe a dark horse for the actual victory. I don't see it happening, but you just never know. If all of the other major contenders mess up for whatever reason, in comes this country potentially. It's Czechia. It's Daniel Žižka with Crossroads. And this song is just absolutely wonderful. It really, really is. It's a song that I think a lot of Eurovision fans don't mind, but they're not necessarily ranking it very highly. But I think we all know the juries could absolutely orgasm over this one. It says here it's a cinematic pop ballad about navigating life's uncertainties, personal growth, and the overwhelming choices faced when deciding one's path. The song explores themes of self-discovery, human connection, and the struggle to maintain authenticity in a digital world, often emphasizing emotion over spectacle. The lyrics refer to life-altering decisions or junctions, crossroads, where one must choose a direction, described in the lyrics often as navigating a vicious spider web. There is enormous potential here with the staging. We haven't really had a live performance of this yet. His voice is sensational, so I've got no qualms about how he's going to sound in Vienna next month. But if you stage this in a very, very atmospheric way, maybe a bit of a smoke machine kicking in, not a whole lot of colour to it, maybe have it in black and white, similar to how JJ's performance was for Austria last year, which of course won, you could be onto something very special. At its core, the song reflects the experience of navigating life without a clear guide. It highlights the struggles of learning to move forward independently while confronting the overwhelming number of choices and paths life presents. Let's take a look at the lyrics briefly here. There's not much of a chorus to this song, so if this track doesn't really get a huge amount of public love, it might be because the public can't really connect with this because of the way it flows, the way it structures, the way it is structured, funnily enough. I have a feeling that a lot of people might just listen to this and think, well, that was fine, but let's move swiftly on. Whereas I think the juries will really appreciate not just the vocals, potentially the great staging that we may have, and indeed the way the song builds up to this somewhat cathartic release. Perhaps. Follow a voice unknown. Learn how to swim in open waters on your own. A jar hollow won't reach the ocean floor, where foreign fields and tangled strings unfold. Mother, I'll get lost without a map. There's too many ways inside this vicious spider web. Yeah, to me, this song is about not really knowing how to navigate your own life, which is something I think so many of us, including yours truly, can relate to. Crossroads, patterns and exceptions interwoven. I'm amazed how well we get unwell. I think that's such a great lyric. Then trade our pain for metal frame. Oh, I gotta find what's out there. Yeah, it's this... To me, it's this want for more, but not knowing how to get there. And this difficulty in navigating what's in front of you. Absolutely terrific. I mean, really, you probably saw it when I reacted to this song when it came out several weeks ago. This probably should be challenging for victory. It would be a worthy winner, in my opinion, but I think the general consensus at this moment in time is that it's not going to come close to winning. It might not even be a qualifier, especially if the juries don't love it as much as I think they will, and the public, for whatever reason, are very, very dismissive indeed. Hopefully that will not happen. This should be in the final. It should be one of Czechia's best results at Eurovision to date. Hear that dark horse galloping damn well in. Okay, there's two more songs I think I'm going to talk about. I will say that I was thinking about Malta in this video, and I do think Malta is a little bit of a dark horse, but at the same time, we all know the public just never really go that big for Malta, and I think this year is not going to be any different. Certainly, you could classify Malta's track as a dark horse. I'm not going to be talking about Serbia or Lithuania, Belgium, Estonia, Armenia. You could absolutely say that those countries are dark horses as well. But instead, the next country I'm going to talk about, yes, there's two more left, I'm just checking my notes here. Shall we talk about one of the automatic finalists? Yes, I think we will. This song is a little bit all over the shop, and yet there is the potential here for this to stand out enormously next month. It is the United Kingdom's entry, Look Mum No Computer Sam Battle, who has not performed this live yet. There has been jackal promotion for this song, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know whether it's true or not, so forgive me, but I believe his partner is pregnant. Now, if that is the case, fair enough. The man has his priorities right. Fair play. On the other hand, no promotion, especially in the UK, is a little bit worrisome to see. Anyway, the song focuses on escaping 9-to-5 drudgery. So again, it's very relatable for a lot of people. Dreaming of European holidays, and incorporates 80s synthwave, reflecting his love for German electronic music. This, to me, is a mixture of Blur and the Chemical Brothers, if you're familiar with those acts. It feels typically British in a way, the somewhat exaggerated British accent we have in this song, and some of the lyrics, roly-poly with custard, all of that sort of stuff, typically British in a sense. But it also has this electric dynamism that runs through it, if you see what I mean. The song explores breaking away from monotonous work, and the song was apparently written in just 12 hours. The Independent newspaper gave this 3 stars. I think one of the other British newspapers gave this 5 stars, and I think somebody else gave it 1 star. So there's definitely been massively mixed opinions on this track. Let's take a look at the lyrics. It's a dark horse, really, because with Sam Ryder a couple of years ago, that song, I think, was always fancied to do relatively well. But then the staging, which wasn't that massively over the top at all, really elevated things. And the great vocals came through, the staging was fine, everything was working really nicely, and there was quite a bit of momentum surrounding Spaceman. This year, I'm not saying we're going to get another Sam Ryder result at all. If anything, this could really, really struggle. It could be extremely messy live. It could be very jarring for the neutral viewer. The jurors might think, what the hell is this trash? Get it away from me. But I also think if everything comes together very nicely, who knows what might happen with this particular track. I mean, it's going to stand out so much no matter what. It's going to be a very vibrant, energetic performance. He's going to have all of this equipment on stage. It's going to be totally unique. It's a massive gamble, which may or may not pay off. So sick of doing the whole 9 to 5. I pay my dues, I'm just staying alive. And I'm so bored of it. Oh, what's the point of it? A paracetamol to quench the pain. The office cubicle has trapped me again, yes. Am I a mouse in a cage? Am I demotivational? If only there was a language that I could count in that would make me feel better. Darling, I need something salty with a slice of pepperoni. I'll pay, you can owe me, that'll be a pony. Pony is slang, by the way. I'm coming back to life, etc., etc., etc. Counting in English doesn't cut the mustard. So sick of munching roly-poly with custard, and so on. Yeah, it's very wacky and very out there, and yet maybe people will warm to this. Which is why I suppose I'm considering it a bit of a dark horse at this moment in time. At the moment, there is this uneasy feeling that maybe the UK could be heading for another 0 points from the public this year. If that happens, so help me, I will absolutely lose the plot. But also, there is the possibility that people will warm to this, people will enjoy the quirky charm of it, and that could mean a couple of points coming in here and there. We'll wait and see. It's a bit of a dark horse galloping in. The last song I'm going to talk about, and I will try to be brief here because I am running out of steam and maybe not explaining myself terribly well here. This is a really interesting track. And when you take a look at the lyrics, and I hope a lot of casual viewers look at the lyrics next month as well, although I have a feeling they won't, because why would they? There is the possibility here of really impactful standout staging, and I really hope they go all in with this, because it could be a real moment on stage if the lyrics of the song are reflected in the presentation. It is Switzerland, another song from semi-final 2 here. It will be song 7 on the night, Veronica Fusaro with Alice. Veronica was born in 1997. She was on The Voice of Switzerland. She's performed all over the place, including at Glastonbury, and she's released 2 albums, including one last October called Looking for Connection. Previous songs of hers include Pluto, Summer Lightning, Wreck Me, Gold Rush, and indeed, of course, this track, Alice. And what we have here is a slightly different version of the song, because I believe it was on her album last year. She's revamped it ever so slightly. This song, at first, you might think it's about somebody in a relationship with a guy, but actually they want to be in a relationship with a woman. It's actually, seemingly so, based on what I've read right now, and indeed several weeks ago, about violence against women, which is a very serious subject matter indeed, and gives the song a whole new dimension. And when you listen to it a second time and listen to the lyrics, wow, I mean, it really can change your opinions on things. Specifically, this song focuses on psychological abuse, manipulation, and the violation of personal boundaries. The song depicts a woman whose boundaries are broken under the guise of affection, with the character Alice never getting to speak. There's been quite a bit of discussion about this song and the meaning behind it on social media, which I think is great. It's healthy for there to be this sort of discussion about the lyricism of a song. And I know I've said before, lyrics don't matter at Eurovision, and I do still think that is somewhat true, especially for first-time listeners on the night. I don't think they give much of a shite at all. But for us Eurovision fans, who do pay more attention to the lyrics, sometimes they are very interesting and important indeed. It says here, blending alternative pop with rock influences, the track unfolds over 3 intense minutes, telling the story of a woman whose personal boundaries are gradually crossed. Alice does not live in Wonderland, but in a reality where boundaries are crossed under the guise of affection. The song explores violence in different forms, physical but also psychological, including manipulation, control and abuse of power. Through the figure of Alice, Veronica Fusaro reflects the experiences of women who encounter violence that is not always immediately visible. The song is about a woman named Alice. It's even named after her, but she never actually gets to speak. Her story is told entirely by someone else. So it's a very controlling sort of song, if you see what I mean in that regard, because Alice does not get to talk. Very interesting. Certainly, lyrically, one of the most interesting tracks of the year. In fact, one of the most interesting tracks we've had over the past few years. If we take a look at the lyrics specifically, Alice, your pretty green eyes are magic, my precious prize. I've studied your ways, the way you behave. Can I spill my secrets to you? Alice, let me inside. I promise I'll be polite. No, I won't make a mess. Why are you looking so stressed? Just let me talk to you. I've been watching you. It's almost stalkerish, the narrator of this song. I know you really, really love me, don't lie. I know you gotta give it some time. So honey, don't cry. Honey, don't cry. Oh, there's a real sense of creepiness and uneasiness about this track. It's so impressive the way it's done, because at first you might not necessarily really know what the song is getting at all. And this is what I mean. I go back to the point I made earlier on about the presentation, the staging of this song. You could do something so powerful here that could really make an impact. I don't know what you could do, but you could do something. And I really hope the staging next month is bang on the money, because this is a dark horse. And if the staging is excellent, wow, this could do a hell of a lot better than we expect. We know the juries have liked Switzerland quite often over the past few years. The public vote remains to be seen this year, of course. But absolutely, to get more people on board, you could do something magical with the staging. Alice, don't you be scared, be honest, I live in your head. Oh, I'm lonely too. This world's been so cruel. I've been here waiting for you. Stop knocking on that door, don't panic. Lay low on the floor, you're safe in my arms. I'd never harm a hair on your head because I'm in love with you. Ugh! The narrator of this song is a very sort of clingy, needy, stalkerish creep. That's what it feels like. The song itself has this easy to go along with, that's a phrase I use a lot, but definitely this song has a fairly easy to go along with, somewhat gentle, rock-esque vibe to it. There's a bit of a riff halfway through, something like that, which is very nice. And it has a slightly bluesy feel to it as well. It's not overly menacing, it's not overly dark, and yet there is this dark undertone just bubbling under the surface. Long story short, it is a dark horse galloping in. So there you go. Those are, I would say, the main dark horses of the year. Latvia, Luxembourg, Czechia, Switzerland, and Portugal. There are others you could absolutely consider. Serbia to an extent, Malta to an extent, Lithuania, Belgium perhaps. You could even say Armenia's a bit of a dark horse. Maybe Italy as well. Perhaps Norway, definitely. Very nearly spoke about them in this video. But I am going to leave it there. I'm running out of steam. Let me know what you think about those dark horses galloping in. Do you think they are DOA? Dead on arrival? Do you think they won't qualify and that's the end of it? Or do you think actually, even if those songs I've mentioned today aren't your big favourites, you wouldn't be shocked if they do a hell of a lot better than we all anticipate at this moment in time? And of course, time will tell. That's it for now. As you can see, I'm back with my usual setup. I've got a new laptop stand as well. Hopefully everything runs smoothly from here on in. Fingers crossed, no more stressful tech-related issues coming my way. Heavens above. The next video you see from me will probably regard the favourites to win this year's contest, and I hope to film that video within the next couple of days. All being well. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.